Okay, you've already seen a lot of people talking about who would win in a fight between 100 guys and one gorilla. We got everyone weighing in from YouTubers, sports betting analysts, and news outlets. But it's not like we can just throw 100 people into a ring with a hulking apex of nature and just wait for the magic to happen. So that got me thinking, what would happen if I used Magic the Gathering to create a deck with the sole purpose of pitting 100 people against a gorilla? And there's like 30 years of cards, so I'm sure we can make something pretty terrible. So if we're going to do this, we need to do it right and break it down into parts. What exactly do we need to do to create a fully realistic battle between human and ape in Magic?
Step 1. Make 100 humans.
Fairly straightforward, albeit a little difficult, but there's no shortage of humans in Magic, so I'm sure we'll be able to figure something out.
Step 2. Get 1 gorilla.
Harder than it looks, but we have a few options, and we only need 1 gorilla. Probably easier than finding one in person.
Step 3. Make them fight.
Probably the hardest part of this, but we'll get there when we do. But it's not just about doing each of these on their own. We need a deck that is capable of doing all 3 in one game. So let's break it down from the top. My first intuition was to stuff as many humans in our deck as possible, in hopes of getting to the desired 100 count. But if you noticed, you don't put 100 creatures in an EDH deck, usually. But we need to remember the deck's core premise. We're not trying to test the greatest heroes of the multiverse against our gorilla friend here. We are testing 100 average guys. We don't want any of this, oh, let me flash back this Decree of Annihilation with my human Snapcaster Mage. If you throw the movie 2012 The Monkey, he's not going to win. So how about we make the creatures, not creature cards at all?
The Horn of Gondor.
Once we start using the horn, getting 100 guys in play suddenly becomes very achievable. And what better way to represent just some random dude than a 1/1 human token? Okay, so we got 100 regular guys. Now we just need the gorilla. Luckily, we got this absolute unit of an ape. I mean, just look at him. He comes in, what's the first thing he does? Fights the closest thing to him. And then after that, he fights the frickin' chair. He also just picks up guys whenever the hell he feels like it. If there's any gorilla up to the challenge of taking on 100 guys, it's Kogla. Actually, Kogla's an ape as there's no gorilla subtype in the Magic lexicon? Yeah, okay, Grandma, let's get you back to Weekly Legacy. We're gonna need to dip further into green for our fight color. They got pro fighting, dog fighting, cat thing fighting, elf fighting, trees fighting, whatever the hell this is fighting. But to fight 100 humans against 1 gorilla, we're gonna need something special. Wait, is this even possible? Okay, now we're talking. While your opponent has to agree to keep the fight going, are they not just as curious to see what would happen?
Yeah, don't you see the danger, John, inherent in what you're doing here? Genetic power is the most awesome force the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
We also have setas and tactics in case our opponents are no fun. But okay, we still have some problems. For Barroom Brawl to even work, we need to be able to give our 100 guys to somebody else. Oh, okay, that was easy. But wait, if we use our Falcon to give 100 tokens to our opponent, won't we just end up decking? Oh, alright then. That works too. We can even throw in a bounce spell, so when we're actually executing the loop, we start by giving away just enough to draw our whole deck, bounce the Falcon, play the Platinum Angel or Sphinx guy or whatever, and then give the rest of them so we don't actually lose the game. And this all sounds pretty mana intensive, so let's throw in a Cryptolith Rite effect or two so we can tap our guys for mana. But wait, even if everyone at the table is on board with this, the other 2 players will probably run out of creatures before the Kogla can successfully fight all 100 guys, which would cause the Barroom Brawl to prematurely fizzle. And we can't have that, so...
Good, Anakin, good. Kill him. Kill him now. Do it.
So in summary, here's exactly what we need to do to test who would win between a gorilla and 100 guys in Magic the Gathering. Not too bad, right? Well, at minimum, we're gonna at least need green and blue for the Kogla and Falcon respectively. But it would probably be nice to have black as well so we can tutor for our things. So let's put this guy at the helm. He's even a sorta guy himself who helps us sorta make more human tokens.
Will ye serve?
I will serve.
So yeah, we gotta start by making human tokens. Horn of Gondor is our headliner, but we have a few other ways to get the ball rolling too. We can untap the horn with Kior's follower and Vizier of Tumbling Sands to double dip on the activation. We can make some monks to ramp and get the ball rolling early. We even got some ways to make human tokens with value, and a few humans that are a little more than just being a 1/1. I especially like Timeless Witness as a way to recur our needed combo pieces, and to be an awesome thing to populate with our commander. It's also important to keep these creatures relatively small, cause you know in real life, all these guys out here thinking they're 10 out of 10 when it's like, bro, that's not a guy, that's a Desolator twin. You lucky if you have that second point of toughness. We also have a bunch of sagas to give us easy counters for Xavier to pull off and keep the populate chain going. Some of these, like the Creation of Avacyn, the Huntsman's Redemption, and the Cruelty of Gix, also serve as pretty good tutors. Binding of the Old Gods and Awaken the Honored Dead give us some flexible removal options that we can actually keep using with our commander. We even get some flexible board wipes with the One Ring to rule them all in the Phyrexian scriptures, and a little card draw and some good board stuff is a good way to round things out. We don't care about proliferating as much since, as we said, the humans aren't really supposed to be big, and the gorilla's already pretty big. And we got more tutors than just the sagas, and the other ones are about what you'd expect for a deck like this. We got some artifact grab like Trophy Mage, Fabricate, Sphinx's Summoner, and the 5th best magic villain in Tezzeret. Analyze the Pollen and Primal Command can get the creatures, and Case of the Stash Skeleton and Mythos of Brokos can get basically whatever else we need. We don't have to go absolutely crazy with tutoring because once we flip over the Falcon, we're picking up the deck. All these cards also have some utility outside of tutoring, so it should give you some flexibility if you need it. You know, in the scenario where you don't have 100 guys, and a gorilla, and a way to stop from drawing your deck. Unlikely, I know. And since we ideally have over 100 tokens in play, we got some cards to sweeten the deal with that. The usual suspects for token doubling are here: Parallel Lives, Second Harvest, Adrix and Nev, Doubling Season. You could also play Primal Vigor, but I'm genuinely afraid the symmetrical effect might help our opponents more than us. So I'll leave that one up to you. But going Parallel Lives in the replication technique can leave you with 11 copies of the enchantment. So if you make one human after doing that, that's 2,048 tokens. Way more than we need to take on the gorilla. Probably. Then we got the Ram, since without it, this deck would have 3 cards that cost less than 3 mana. Signets, Mana Dorks, Talismans, Clocks, you name it, it's here. And hey, there are the Cryptolith effects we talked about earlier. Nothing says guys can't tap for mana to cast the gorilla, right? Also, Sultai has some of the best removal and interactive options too. So, run them? People don't run enough removal in Commander as a general. So yeah, that's it. And after all that setup, who wins? Guess that's up to you. Did you activate Kogla?